You are listening to the audio portion of the QB Power Hour webinar series. The QB Power Hour is a free bi-weekly webinar series for accounting professionals presented by Michelle Long and Dan DeLong, who are very passionate about the industry, QuickBooks, and apps that integrate with QuickBooks. You can find out all the details about the webinar series at qbpowerhour.com. So without further ado, here's Michelle and Dan.
All right, welcome everybody. Well, you see everybody coming in now, joining us for our next QB Power Hour. Today's topic, we're talking about all QBO Advanced can do. I'm very glad to have you guys all joining us today. As you're filtering into our Zoom room, we are streaming live on YouTube as well. I'm very glad to have everybody joining us here today. My name is Michelle Long. I'm the owner of Long for Success. I am located in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm the owner of Long for Success. I've had my own practice for too long now. I am a speaker and a trainer for Intuit. I love doing that. Author of 5 books. You can check them out on Amazon. Love to have you join us on the Facebook group. There's the link there. We need to update that. We now have over 9,000 members, and it's a great place to continue the conversation after our Power Hour webinars. One thing I would like to remind you of is today, if you can use the Q&A box instead of the chat, that makes it easier for us to answer your questions. We have some wonderful people from Intuit that are helping us answer your questions today as well. I'd like to thank Mindy and Shanna for helping with that as well. Dan, you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves? So if y'all can try to use the Q&A instead of the chat, that would be great.
Yeah, the Q&A will definitely be able to get answered. And then once the question's answered, then that's going to be shared with everyone so you can see everybody will be able to see the question and answer, as the chat is just a scroll thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, my name is Dan DeLong, a founder and owner of DanWith, where we transform businesses through technology. So I'm the tech guy on the show here. Formerly at Intuit with technical support for about 18 years, and now a new partner, chief content creator at Schoolofbookkeeping.com. So today we are joined by a great individual. Erin, you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks. I like being a great individual. Thanks for that.
And lovely. Oh, sorry, I forgot that.
Thank you.
And I love Erin as well. I love presenting with her on the road, and I miss doing that right now. But this is the next best thing, right?
Yeah, it is. I was just thinking about this morning, all the times that you and I have done masterclass and certifications together, and how fun it is to present with you. So I do miss you. I miss that.
I miss everyone, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, a little about me. My name is Erin Walsh Dyer, and I was a full-charge bookkeeper for a billion years in desktop. Moved my own firm to online edition, 7 or 8 years ago. I love QuickBooks Online. I would never go back. I love QuickBooks Online Advanced, which I'm about to talk to you all about. My firm kind of did a shift. We're not doing bookkeeping anymore. We are mentoring bookkeepers and helping people, get into the cloud accounting. And we still have some bookkeeping clients, but we mostly do setups, coaching, and fixes, and get people in the right product and get them trained in their products so they know how to work moving forward. So that's what I do. And my firm is the Bookkeeper's Friend in San Diego.
We're very glad to have you joining us today, Erin. Thanks.
Okay.
Erin, do you focus primarily on like mentoring bookkeepers, or do you have, end clients that you also do, or a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. What I've found is when Michelle and I and the other team members are out training people, they'll go to an event or a webinar and then they'll get, all excited about taking their next steps. And then, what do I do next? So I kind of help people through that. Okay, why don't you do this first? And, and I also help them with a client. Like if they have a tough client, I will coach them through some of the fixes and help them learn, and also get them through those tough clients. I was saying, don't say no. Contact me. We'll get you trained and show you how to do it.
Right.
So I do a lot of that.
You teach bookkeepers how to fish.
Yeah, I do. And then we have some, I do mostly setups and coaching, and then I'll refer the work out for the ongoing stuff. I don't do the recurring learning anymore. So that's what I do.
So a few little details about the QB Power Hour webinar series. Obviously today we're talking about all QBO Advanced can do. So we're going to consolidate all the things that QBO Advanced can do in hopefully less than an hour. But this is the second of four series that we're focusing on QBO Advanced. The first one we had Mario come on, and he really talked about the conversation about QBO Advanced and how that integrates into your practice and how you can have those conversations with your clients. So if you missed that one, that's okay. It's all of these webinars are about QBO Advanced, are independent of each other. But if you're concerned or curious about having that conversation with your clients, that will be a great webinar to review, which you can do on Michelle's YouTube channel. And the first of each month, we will be having a QBO Advanced. So next month we'll be having advanced case studies. So we'll have a great panel of people. Sorry, Erin, you won't be able to come to that one, but
darn it.
But
can I attend?
But we got
Yes,
you
definitely.
solely for this one.
Okay.
But we'll have a panel of industry specialists who will talk about what Advanced has done for them and their clients. And then in August, we'll have the QBO Advanced roadmap. So where is QBO Advanced going? That will be a great launching point and a great way for those of you that are joining us to be part of the conversation, as well as what is that going to look like? Where is QBO Advanced going? And we'll have some other things next QB Power Hour. We'll be talking about simplifying accounting and e-commerce, which a lot of businesses who have added that complexity to their business. Webgility is going to come on, and they're going to talk about how to simplify the accounting. And then we'll have another niche nuance with the legal profession in July. So join us for that. You can also watch the recordings, the previous recordings, the PDF of the slides that are in there as a link, and then you can also listen to us on the go with the podcast. So we'll start off with a poll. So looking at, are your clients managing, given the current business environment, are your clients managing more complexity now? So it's a yes, no, or sort of. So as far as the sort of, maybe their priorities have shifted. Maybe they've had to pivot based on the nature of what their business actually is. We'll take a moment to answer that poll.
And Dan, I just want to let everybody know too, as you said, that previous webinar with Mario, you didn't give it enough credit, because Dan and Mario actually did a role play as how would you talk to your client? And I thought it was really good. Dan was the starring role of the small business owner, the client, and it was really good. So, if y'all are thinking about that, you might want to check that out. And I also just answered a question and put the link to the test drive for QBO Advanced in there. So there is a sample company, just like we have the Craig's Design and Landscaping. There's an advanced sample company, and I put that link out there so you all can go test it out and play with it as Erin's talking about it today. If you want to go test out some of these features yourself, that link is in the Q&A there.
And we always seem to have folks that have difficulty getting to the handouts or the slides. I did just post that in the Q&A as well, a direct link to it. But when you get emails that come out with alerting, or when you're registered, the PDF of the link to the handout should be in there as well. So worst case, you can go back to the welcome or the alert emails. That should have the link to the PDFs as well.
Yes.
So let me go ahead and close out the poll and share the results. So mostly sort of.
Sort of.
We are in a sort of state. But yeah, I can understand that, because a lot of businesses either were unaware or just weren't prepared for how things came, and I think that's really kind of where we want to start off, right, Erin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of deer in the headlights kind of looks like, how do I restructure or move or make any changes? So yeah, it's a tough time, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I did stop sharing, so you should be
okay.
all ready to share your
ready to
presentation.
roll. There we go.
Dan, I'm still seeing the poll results. Can I go ahead and stop? Or are you going to
stop that? Yep.
Okay.
So one thing I want to mention about Mario's event with you last time was he said he starts with advanced. When somebody's going to QuickBooks Online, it's almost like with that pricing model where you always give them the biggest package first, and then let them, you know, if they don't want this, and this, you can go down. So I think that's a great idea. You know, show them everything QBO can do, and then say, okay, well, you don't need this. Well, then we can maybe go down to Plus or something else. But I thought that was a really good comment, because it's really hard to go the other direction once you put them in Essentials or something, and they may not know that there's something really important that they could use, like you know, getting really good analysis of the data in QuickBooks. So. So the reason advanced is kind of very relevant right now is we are in a place where there's lots of things that have changed with a lot of businesses, and they need more information about how cash was spent. They need their accountants more than ever right now. So I think it's really important to look at what advanced can do so that we can then decide if maybe this is a fit for a few of, maybe all your clients, I don't know. It could be very helpful. So. And there's also people who are still on desktop that probably got blindsided a little bit in the last few months. Like they couldn't get to the office to actually get to their accounting and update their bank feeds or anything like that. They didn't have remote access. So it's almost like this is a time to consider that, because things could go, well, I hope they don't, but they could go back to where they have to be working from home again if they're not back at the office, in the office already. So let's just take a peek at what QBO Advanced can do for them. And so what's going on now? Cash planning is really important. We need to do analysis and projections for our clients so they know what's going on in their business. Virtual meetings became well, if you weren't using them before, a lot of people are using those now. I mean, we all got a college education in virtual meetings in the last 2 months. And I've been using them for years, but I've always had clients who are like, virtual's tough for me. I don't know how to do the Zoom or whatever, but now everybody does. And it's become normal almost. So everybody's gotten that education. So they need to meet virtually. They need to know how to do that. They also need to know how to send and receive money electronically in case they're not in the office or they're not doing paper checks or waiting for checks in the mail. Their workers are probably remote, so maybe geofencing, showing when somebody's clocking in within a certain area, using GPS, timesheets, scheduling remotely, so you have a remote scheduler. Also, you compare apps with QuickBooks Online. If there's something that isn't specifically in QBO Advanced naturally, an app can fill that gap. So I'm glad you're going into that industry niche in a few weeks, where you're going to talk to those people who are specializing in industries like legal and even Webgility, because Webgility can consolidate all the shopping carts and bring the data in. So apps can really, really help with stuff like that. And then document management, there's apps that actually collect receipts. Even QuickBooks Online does that now as well. So, there's just a lot that we can implement for them. They need this from us. So how can we help them is the next question. So I have an example. I have a client who's a catering company, and a pretty large one. She's definitely mid-market, doing somewhere between 500 and $1 million a year in gross revenue, but not after, March 1st or so. Everything went dormant. She's dormant right now. She did get the PPP loan. She kept some of her employees on staff in order to keep things running. But what she's doing with this downtime is actually revamping her systems. She's been talking about getting a catering app. She's been looking at it for 5 years, never had the time to do it because she was so busy. So she's using this time almost like a spring cleaning. She's implementing apps. We've moved her from Enterprise to QBO Advanced just a week ago. She was definitely oversold on Enterprise. She's service-based. She doesn't have inventory or anything, and she was paying a lot of money for a lot of users and hosting. Advanced was less expensive for her and just a better fit. So she's improving her system. She's taking this time off to analyze her historical costs, maybe renegotiate some contracts and things like that. And she's going 100% cloud. So it is a time for companies to breathe and get restructured and get ready for reopening. So that's
she's definitely one of those sort of where her priorities have shifted because her business model wasn't prepared for this as well. So that's a great story.
Yeah, and she's go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was just gonna say, Erin, I think that is such a great example because there's so many people that are in that same situation right now. So many of these clients out there that could use our help to help them navigate this time to do some of that stuff. So I think that's a great example.
So our advisory is going to be more than just, oh, you need QuickBooks Online Advanced. There might be, we're telling them they need to do an app. They may need to learn how to use Zoom if they're going to stay remote. As a matter of fact, I have another client who's a psychologist, and she also has an immune issue because she's a kidney transplant recipient. So she will probably never again, or at least not in the near future, do face-to-face advice or consulting with people. She's using Zoom 100% of the time. And Zoom, there is a version of it, and there's, I'm sure, other meeting softwares that are HIPAA compliant. So you have to pay for that option, but you could tell your doctors or whoever else is meeting online that there are options there. So it's not just financial strategy. Obviously, we do need to talk to them about cash flow and things like that. But there may be systems they need to implement in order to stay in business in this new model. And again, my catering client, she's going to go back to doing catering. It's going to be a little different, probably not as, many people at an event, and they have to deal with the, volume. But other people may never go back to the in-person model. So we need to be ready for that. So we need to ramp our skills, learn about apps, and help them go virtual if they have to. So
Erin, that last bullet on there, be ready for the future. I remember Intuit doing the Firm of the Future training and stuff like this. We started that, 5, 6, 7 years ago? Intuit got all of us that were a part of this. I feel like Intuit helped prepare us. And now we're in this moment. We've already learned a lot of this stuff. And so now we're really able to help these clients that haven't got there yet to implement this and do this. And I think Intuit has helped prepare us for this moment where we can be invaluable to our clients.
It's true. Go ahead, Dan. I was going to say something else.
I was just going to say, this is not going to be the next, the last crisis that people find themselves in. There will be hurricanes. There will be floods, fires, other things that put a business like this on edge. And being in that, proactive spot where you can be the advisor to your client as opposed to being the reactive of, okay, well, now what do we got to do? I got to learn this new stuff and then go from there.
Right. It's funny when you were saying that, Michelle, about Intuit and getting us ready. And I was thinking, how intuitive of them. It was, really, I am a cloud firm because of that model that they were pushing 6, 7 years ago.
Yep.
So
that's the thing is Intuit, they do a lot of the research on what's coming and the coming trends and things like this. And so, a lot of us, might go kicking and screaming and scratching and clawing because we don't want to change, but it's really helped position us better than ever right now. So, and QBO Advanced is just perfect in this moment with the additional complexities that a lot of these small businesses are facing. So I'm glad we have you here to share all these great features with us.
Okay, well, let's get into it then. Advanced has a lot of features in there that make entering data a lot quicker, especially if there's a client that has a lot of volume in their daily practices with the accounting. I decided to start this though with the end result. So we know that Advanced has accelerated features, and then we will go over those at the end, but I want to talk about using the result and using QBO Advanced for the advisory that we need to be doing right now. And I know some people have been doing accounting and bookkeeping for years, and it's been kind of rear view mirror accounting. You know, you gather up data and, you know, compile financial statements, but they don't know what's been going on until months or a month later or something like that. With this, with QBO in general, we can start getting data in quickly and be in real-time financial information. So Advanced comes with an app called Fathom Reporting. So you don't have to pay extra, it's included in the fee. They embedded it in the report center. And if your client has Advanced, you just click Reports and Smart Reporting. So it's just a really great app. It takes the data from QuickBooks and it pulls it over and it pushes it into analysis tools like this one. This is, and I'll go into the product live, but this is taking information, and we're tracking certain key performance indicators to, and we set targets to that to see if they're meeting their goals. So we'll go in and take a peek at that. There's this growth chart, matrix chart showing how their growth has been going, and lots of other things, the goal seek tool, etc. So I'll just take you in there, because if you have not seen this, and let me get to my correct company here. Yeah, this is the one I want. So in Fathom, which is in your report center, it's embedded in, included. I always get the question when I do the webinars, is an extra fee? No, it is not. So you just click this little, I don't know, it's a piece of paper with an arrow that will open Fathom. Now it pulls data one way. It is not, anything you do in Fathom stays in Fathom, right? And I think I have it open here just to make, well, maybe I don't. Give it a second to load. So this is actually opening an app. It's pulled data across, and in this particular company, we're tracking, I think, somewhere around 13 KPIs, key performance indicators. Fathom has over 50 of these that are already in Fathom, and then you can choose the ones you want to watch. So consulting revenue, the result for May was 31,000. Our target was only 10,000, and they've definitely met their target, and they're doing good. So we got a happy little green check mark, but their accounts payable days, they went 45 days on AP. So we're monitoring things from the QuickBooks database that it just makes it easier to look at and analyze. And Fathom does recommend that you probably do maybe start with your client with maybe 5 of these KPIs to monitor to get them used to it, and then you can start adding from there. So this is just one of the analysis tools. And again, whatever we do over here, like setting a target, is not going to go back to QuickBooks. This is just going to pull this across. This does pull once a day. Oh, did somebody have a question?
Is that always the way that Fathom works? With I mean, because Fathom works with all versions of QuickBooks Online, but it's included with Advanced.
Correct.
And so, you know, if you have a client that's using Simple Start, not sure why, but if you have a client that's using Simple Start and they want to add, you know, Fathom, they can do that, but it's a fee. Correct. And it's like, what, $20, $30 per month. So, you know, this is included in Advanced. So, you know, when you're looking at, okay, what's the cost of Advanced, this is an included benefit, right?
Well, sure. And you might think about it as well for, you know, if your firm is doing the wholesale bill, or the, you know, where the firm's being billed for QBO, this is 50% off for the firm and includes Fathom. You're charging, I don't know what, for advisory. If you take on the cost of QBO with all of these bells and whistles, you could really make a lot of money off of this, especially if you're adding advisory. And this is doing this kind of for you. It's pulling things across. I'll just show you where you can choose and set those targets for KPIs. And this is just the first analysis tool. I'll go into a few more. So I'm going to go to settings, and setting number 4 here is KPIs. By the way, this does pull up at QB data every day, but you can update if, let's say, we just imported 1,000 invoices and we want to update, we can just do a push right here, and that was on the Update Data tab. So I'll go to KPIs. Right now, like I said, I think there's 13 that we're tracking, and you can set their importance. You can remove them, check them, or uncheck them. And then once you've chosen the KPIs, you can create targets for each. You can have them pull across the same each month, or do variables, which will split it out. And some of these targets can actually be populated by a budget from QBO, which is kind of nice. Back on KPIs, this is not just QBO data. You could create a custom KPI using their library or do a formula. You could also do an account watch, like I want to see if undeposited funds goes over $50,000 or something. I could be watching that. And then you could do non-financial KPIs as well and do your own calculation. And you can even import data from CSV. So maybe there's an industry, maybe they're in a certain industry and there's a way they can get industry averages or McDonald's or whatever they have and what their sales are. And they could pull that in and do comparatives to their other people in their industry as well. So you can do all kinds of good stuff in here.
Somebody asked a question, and can you do consolidated across multiple companies?
Absolutely. Yep. So
but they would need Fathom with both of those companies.
Correct.
So
correct.
Ideally, both company subscriptions should be on Advanced, and that way you have it included.
Right. It's all included. Here's some companies I have. So as an accounting user, I have multiples, and I have a consolidated test group here where I can consolidate multiples. I also, and I'll show you this in a second, I have a firm-wide alerts page. Those KPIs, you can set some of them to have an alert, like the 45 days on, or 30 days on AP. If I go to this firm-wide alert one, let me just go there. Should let me in. I can see firm-wide or multiple companies, the alerts I have set for all of these companies and what's going on with some of these. So it's like a mission control for all your Fathom clients, and you could be monitoring things and then, you know, talking to them about things that are going awry. So that's just KPIs. There's different ways of looking at it. I'll just jump to this one. Sometimes clients like looking at things in a little different way. You can share screen with them, and just like I am with you guys, and go through these. We're looking at all KPIs by perspective, but maybe by the result. So bad on the left, good on the right. You can also switch it out to the year, and then start looking at, you know, we set targets on these and you're not meeting them, we need to talk. So it actually hovers over and lets us discuss those issues. There's a lot of analysis tools. So it pulled over this information. Oh, I'm in the, actually, I wanted to do this on another. Oh.
You know, Erin, one of the things I love about Fathom is, you know, I used to always joke that my clients, when I would give them the financial reports, you know, at the end of the month or whatever, they would just stick them in a drawer and not pay any attention to them. When you show them a picture book, when you're showing them charts and graphs and these visuals, they get it so much more than just the reports. So, I mean, this adds so much value for us, for our clients, and for them helping to manage their business. So I just love this.
I agree. And there's also, I did a thing at QB Connect last year about Fathom, and we talked about how a larger company, mid-market, is going to need different kinds of reports for different kinds of viewers. So you might have a series of reports for the accounting department versus the CFO who wants to see a lot, and then maybe the board only wants to see things like this, just to get, they're more graphics. They don't need the granular reports. And sometimes those board members don't, or you know, the owners don't really want to see rows and columns of numbers. They want stuff like this. So this is, actually this one's called profitability, and it kind of, in a way, projects what's going on. This is their fixed costs. This is their variable costs. This is where they broke even that year. And where they ended that year, we're looking at, I think, 2018, and had they continued on that track, where that would have gone for them. And then what's really great about these, and when you're having a discussion with your client, you could click on some of these numbers and it gives you a micro graph of what's going on and how it got to that number year by year in this case. and a definition of what we're looking at. So it's a really great way to interact with your clients and give them more information. There is a cash flow. This is basically the statement of cash flows. Again, no more columns and rows. This is graphics. It's showing revenue in and how it was spent, giving you your operating cash flow and then your free cash flow and then your net. And again, it will give you definitions on any of these. So what's free cash flow? It gives you all the information you need right there. So you can have that conversation with the client. Much easier to look at than those reports you were talking about, Michelle. And even for the $20 a month, oh my gosh, this is great. It's pulling this across. My favorite, I gotta say, is this one, Goal Seek. So let's say our client wants their profitability to go to 25%, their ratio here, which is awesome. How are we gonna get there? So we have a conversation with our client. Well, let's do some advertising and we're gonna try to increase volume by 15% or so. Okay, we are halfway to our mark. What else do we need to do? Maybe pricing can go up a little. Let's try and cut some of those fixed costs, renegotiate some of those contracts we have, and you just have to keep playing with it. And is that goal achievable? And then you look at what the change is going to be. This is where you could go over to there is a profitability ratio KPI that we could then add and put in our target of 25%, and then the KPI screen would be monitoring that for us. Are we meeting that target? So just really cool stuff. There's also reports as well. Michelle, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I just think this is so great. I mean, I remember doing what ifs with Excel with clients. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing compared to this and the power of this and the visual, and it's just so awesome, especially in times like this, talking to them about, look, maybe you need to renegotiate your rent, maybe you need to renegotiate insurance expense or whatever. Mm-hmm. What are the things that we can try to do to change to help us hit that goal? And I love mm-hmm. this. It's so powerful.
I know. I love this tool.
The windshield is so much bigger than the rearview mirror. And this is actually a windshield reporting tool.
Right. I've also heard it said like you're using Google Maps instead of looking in the rearview mirror, right? You're planning. You're moving right. forward. You know where you're going, and you're monitoring that progress.
Right. So recalculate when you miss a turn.
Yeah, exactly. Right, because you might have to change the strategy. So you set up a KPI for this, monitor it, put an alert on it if they're not meeting it, and then you can go to that firm-wide dashboard and monitor a lot of clients from one spot.
A good question from the
mm-hmm.
from the group here is: do clients have access to this, or is this a accountant only Fathom tool?
Your client would, if they were an admin user, have access to Fathom. Okay. Yes.
So they would just see that smart reporting, and then it would take them out to them.
Jump over there.
Well, yeah. And especially though, when you're first starting to use this with the client, I think it's a perfect opportunity for you to have maybe a weekly meeting with the client, or a minimum, a monthly meeting with the client, to go over this with them and to talk to them about it and what it means, what the impact is for their business, how they can use this tool to manage their business and make better business decisions. I think especially in the beginning, helping them mm-hmm. to do that is very great. Now then later, you may just have monthly or quarterly meetings with them, mm-hmm. to help keep them on track and things like that. But I wouldn't just, here you go, and turn them loose. I think they need our advice right. to help them with it, to get going.
Right.
Now, before we turn this mm-hmm. into the Fathom reporting hour,
yeah, we need to move.
We got a lot of things to cover.
By the way, Fathom has really great training. They have lots of free webinars. So if you want to go a little deeper, go for it. I do want to just show you really quick. There are not only analysis tools, but there are reports. You can use some of their predefined reports to build from, or build your own custom reports. I don't have any. And then there's some draft reports here that we're working on. They're not published yet, meaning only I could see them until we actually publish them. But you can see I did one for the accounting department, the CFO, and the partners. Everybody wants a different view of the data. So you can do custom reports, and these can be scheduled. So they auto-populate with the new QBO data, and there you go. What's really, really nice about it is, I'm going to just click on one of them and edit the report. You can brand either your company or somebody else, or their logo on it. So you can, and it pulls in the KPIs and a lot of different stuff, not just financial statements. So that is, let's get back to, let's talk about other things QBO can do. Let me, hold on, I'll do it this way. There we go. So that was just Fathom. It's so, there's so much here. I showed you reporting, and they can be published in different, to Excel or create the schedule. So I'll just go right past that and just talk a little bit about budgeting. You can do multiple budgets in QuickBooks Online, especially with Plus or Advanced. However, with Advanced, you can import budgets. So think of that not-for-profit that has all those different budgets for all the different fundraisers and different classes. Start importing them instead of manually keying in budgets in QBO. So that is really great. I'm not going to really demo that, but you just need to know that it does exist, and it's going to save you and or them a lot of time. And then you can bring stuff over to Fathom from there, which is great. There is a performance center in QBO Advanced that is in the reports center. So if you look on the left, I'm in reports, I've clicked performance center. This allows us to build custom charts. And the one I'm going to show you right now is this one. I have a client who put his fuel expenses, and then underneath fuel, put each driver's name. Which is not something you really want on your profit and loss statement, but now we can collapse and save that customization on the P&L. So I've collapsed that off his P&L so he doesn't see that anymore. And then I built him this chart, which he loved a lot more. So let me go into that same, I think it was this company. Oh, it's this one. I'll just show you where the chart builder is in the Performance Center. So again, this is QBO Advanced exclusive, and you can build new charts here, and it allows you to do like little micro views of what's going on in this client's QBO. So you can do it by expenses, different revenue streams, their gross profit, net profit, AR, AP, and cost of goods sold, and build a custom chart from there. So I'll just choose that one. Hang on, my meetings in the way. There we go. And you just start pulling in. So this is creating your custom chart. You pick your time period and how you want to group them. Projects, expenses, how are we doing this? And I'm not going to build this chart. I'll go to the one that I've already set up for you just to expedite the process here. So
now we did the Performance Center last QB Power Hour, but what you're talking about here, this is only in Advanced, or is that also in the Performance Center as an accountant tool?
Oh, the accountant tool does have the Performance Center, yes. But client facing, it's in QBO Advanced.
It's in QBO Advanced. I got you.
Yeah, sorry. Thanks for making me call that out. Okay, so I'm going to edit this existing one that I set up. Fuel cost by driver. Last year, I'm grouping expenses, and then I pulled the individual sub-accounts, each of these driver's sub-account that he was tracking. And I have it set, I'll hit save, to the vertical lines. Hold on, where'd my guy go? So vertical lines, this is comparing, hang on, there it goes, last year to this year and how they're doing. But you can also edit this and do a trend line, which is going to give us the year with the comparisons month by month. So you could swap that out. So again, if there's a micro area of the financials that your client wants to monitor, this is a lot easier to look at and prettier than a row, rows and columns. So I want to compare this because I'm seeing each driver and how they did 18 and 19. So the color is the same, and this is based on the account on the chart of accounts. So he can monitor this. Now, I did set up a report for him where this is what he was looking at in custom reports and really couldn't compare. It's just, data, right? Not as pretty and not as easy to understand, especially for those non-accountants who are going to be viewing this stuff. So that was custom charts. So I'll go back to the presentation. That's one feature we get. Custom fields, this is a big one. Custom fields, there's 48 custom fields in QBO Advanced. There's only, I think, 3 in QBO Plus, and that show up on the sales forms only, and they're text-only fields. That could be a problem. Let's say we do add sales rep as a custom field. Somebody might type in Dan or Daniel or D. DeLong, or, you know, they can type whatever they want in a text field. These custom fields, you can create custom drop-downs. You can restrict them to being date only, text only, number only, all kinds of options. So there's 12 that are customer-based, meaning they're in the customer record when you edit a customer, 12 on sales forms, 12 on POs and other money out transactions, and then vendor, 12 for the vendor record. So we'll go back into one of these company files I have open, and we're going to go to gear and custom fields. So I've set up a few this morning. So there's a sales rep, a birthday, a sales manager. So these managers are in charge of these reps. And approval status. We don't yet have approval status for invoices and other things in QBO Advanced. It's something that's been asked for, but in the meantime, I've set one up. So I have approval status, and I've set up my own custom dropdown, and I even got some emojis in there. And it's for use on sales forms and money out expense forms as well. And you can add it to just the PO or other expense forms as well, if you would like. So you just hit save. So let's say we need to be monitoring approval status for invoices. I set up a custom report for that. And here we go. So Michelle has some that need to be done, or maybe Dan does. Let's look at this one right here. So that one needs to be approved by maybe the sales manager. So they would go to this particular report and then change the approval status to approved. And that's it. And that would remove them from the report. And now we've got our own custom field with its own drop downs. So really cool stuff in there. And I know there's people who have done entire hours just on custom fields and building custom reports. There's a lot we can do. Add the sales manager, etc.
Yeah, it's definitely a robust, you know, it's like a Pandora's box of what you can do once you unleash that that option inside of QBO Advanced.
Yeah.
So let's continue. And I think we have a few questions that we can answer live during this next poll. So we're going to launch this poll. Would report packages branded with your clients or your firm's logo be helpful? I mean, you showed a little bit about what we could do, what you can do as far as like co-branding your services or your client services. Do you feel that would be helpful? So one of the questions I want to kind of address here is there a way to share the performance dashboard widgets with other QBO users so that they can see the customized ones when they log in? Is that that's really what you were referring to on the Performance Center, right?
Right. So if you're in Advanced and you have reporting, capabilities as a user, it just depends on what your reporting settings are, which actually is kind of the next topic, user permissions. So it really depends on how far you've been let into the usage of reports. So
at least, I mean, if simplified, being a company admin, they would definitely be able to see those things as well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Without getting too granular into the into those options. You can
always add users and test that with the reporting options. So is it going to filter back AP or any of those if they only are in accounts receivable or sales? Probably. I would test it out. You might, well, you can't do it in the test drive, but have to test it out if somebody has
Yeah.
Advanced.
Yeah, and somebody did ask about, is there a test drive company? Yeah, and we'll provide those links on the resources page as well in the slides. But yes, there is a test drive that you can test. So let me close out the poll and share the results. So yes, 89% overwhelmingly. That's a great value add. So Erin, thank you for sharing that with us. And man, we're already coming in 15 minutes left, so we can cram everything else.
Okay. So again, this isn't a deep dive. We are just going through, what's here, but we really wanted to focus on how it could really help you help others. So another thing that I've found that people have trouble with is, and they don't want to go to online because of user permissions, and also being able to back up their company locally. So there is the option to manage users in QBO Advanced, but with Advanced, there's a lot more options, and they keep adding to this, but already it's gotten better. And I'll just stick with slides for now, just so we stay on time. Yeah. But when you go into QBO Advanced and you go to edit users, or add users, manage users, excuse me, there's add roles. There's 3 tabs in here. So by the way, users comes with 25 users for your client. Roles, you can do custom roles here, like we can do a mix of sales and banking. Maybe we want them in all the sales, the full sales cycle, and also to be able to make bank deposits. So you can combine these roles that Intuit has brought in here and create a custom role based on that. So you can add roles, and then you should know that there's 3 accounting firms with Advanced, not just 2. So 3 accounting firms can get in there. So that's a lot of people working in this file, but it's probably a big company that needs the help. So that's what it's geared for.
I used to say that the user permissions in QBO is like a light switch. It's either on or off, and then desktop, especially when you're talking about enterprise, is like a dimmer switch. You have really a lot of granularity as far as what you can do. They're getting there. And of course they have a roadmap. It's like, okay, well, this is what we want in enterprise in Advanced, that we can get to that point, and user permissions are going to be definitely, I think they're going to be on the roadmap, as far as what you can do, because with all those users, you don't want to show them the keys to the castle.
Right.
And then you'll be able to do that.
Payroll and, and then they just added inventory and I think workers. That was just recently added. So it's growing. And that's something we should mention about QuickBooks Online in general. We don't have to wait for next year's release for new stuff to show up. It just shows up. And all of a sudden you have more things. And that's why it's good to attend these types of events, because you can see what's come, not what's coming, but what's been rolled out. And they've added a lot of stuff in the last 2 months. That is for sure. The other thing that people get, that clients really want to have, is a backup. It's in the cloud. Intuit does have redundant servers backing everything up, but I want my own copy, right? So Intuit now has online backup and restore, which is only available with QuickBooks Online Advanced. This will do a full backup, and then you can schedule backups daily. You can also restore back to a certain point in time. So let's say you did import 1,000 invoices, but you didn't map them properly on the CSV file. You could go back. It's a do-over. You can go back to a day ago or a week ago, whatever it is. And it's just a way, and you can also get a local copy as well. So it's really great, and it works. It's a great little offering. Backing it up. All right, so now
that was always one of the biggest challenges with QuickBooks Online, is it's redundantly backed up, but it's not a restore point. So this is a great feature add-on. And there are other apps that you can do with other different versions, but again, this one is included in the Online Advanced.
Right. Yeah, and some people just want to know that they can download and have a local copy. For some reason, it's a comfort level. That's okay, and that could be a service you're providing. You're taking on the costs of QBO Plus, or excuse me, Advanced on your wholesale bill, but you're providing a backup service for them, charge for that, right? Okay, so now we're going to get data in quicker. So workflows is an option in QBO Advanced, which are basically reminder emails, or they may push a notification to a smart device, a phone. So the one I love is it lets me know when undeposited funds has reached a certain level. Anything above 0, anything above 10,000. I can be getting a mobile text from my client's QuickBooks telling me their undeposited funds is going out through the roof. So I can monitor that. That's a big one for me. Payment due, payment received from a customer, they'll get emailed that thank you very much for your payment. So if you have large volumes of customers in this client's file, this is going to help take some of that little bit of tedious follow-up stuff off your plate and off your client's plate. So I think there's 7 different choices right now in managed workflows, and it's in the gear. So play with that. This is in the test drive if you want to take a look at some of those. This is just showing that it does go to a mobile push, if it will go to mobile on some of them, not all of them. I think it's invoice payment, bank deposit, unsent invoices. Those are the 3 that I know of at this point. All right, import data. This has been in QuickBooks Online for a while, but with QBO Advanced, you have an extra option, invoices. This will allow you to import invoices from CSV. Oops, I don't even have a screenshot of it. I should show it to you, huh? From CSV, they give you a template, and you can import 1,000 rows in one import. So that's pretty cool. I could take you over and just show it to you, because I think that's important to see it.
Yeah, Erin, that is important for those clients that might be using some kind of a third-party system to record their sales, whether it's a shopping cart or an app or something that's not integrating with QBO. You could get the invoices from that third-party app and then import them here without using another tool. So it is a nice feature to have available.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And you can download the sample CSV to give you the formatting that Intuit needs to get this in here. And then there's an import guide that kind of explains how it's going to map across. So take a look at that, and that is in the test drive as well. So if you need it, you can check that out.
And right now it's only invoices that can be imported, right? It's not other
Correct.
transaction types yet.
Yeah, not yet, but batch transactions might help you with that. So this allows you to, you know how you always hit save and new, save and new? We've been doing that for years. This eliminates that. I could batch in a group of invoices in one pass. So let's say it's invoices, checks, bills, expenses, all of these we can create in this spreadsheet format. This will also allow you to bring in custom fields. So we can do those, you know, sales reps, whatever those custom fields were. And there's more coming. This is a little screenshot that they're working on more. But basically we could populate this screen and save, you know, 20, 30 invoices in one move. Same with expenses, bills, etc. So that is going to expedite the data entry and make it a lot faster. Also with the invoice option, we can batch modify invoices. So let's say we didn't put the sales rep on our invoices, and we're going to go back and fix that in batches. So you filter to what you're looking for, and it will let you pull in custom fields. So batch modify, that's huge if you have thousands of invoices, right, in a month. It'll help you with that. Another feature they added is because we're cloud and we love it, we want to export these reports not locally to Excel. We're going to send them out to Google Sheets. Maybe Google Sheets is then pushing it to another app, or we have a Zap going into, I don't know, another program where we're tracking contacts or invoicing or something else. So you can export any report to Google Sheets now. Staying in the cloud. I'm sorry, okay, we didn't deep dive those.
That was more of a gloss, gloss over. But a lot of them have built-in, you know, trainings and resources built right in. Maybe there's a video built right into the program. But yeah, since we did kind of gloss over some and take a little deeper dive, This poll is great for that. So what quick QBO Advanced features would you like to see a deeper dive? I think we could spend probably 2 or 3 weeks on Fathom based on what you what you just showed today.
And Erin, I'd like to ask you one. Rich would like to know. Hi, Rich. How you doing? For those batch transactions on the invoices, can you enter multiple item rows if you've got an invoice with multiple rows?
You can.
Does
yes.
that work? Okay.
Yes. So then you add the rows, and then you can duplicate that invoice to multiple customers as well. So that it really makes things a lot faster.
And can you copy from Excel, like in desktop, when you're doing those batch entries, like for expenses or something?
It can be difficult because some of those fields are drop downs, where we're pulling from the database. So it can get stuck. Like once I tried to do an Excel paste, and it tried to add all of my row to the new customer field. So play with it. It's not perfect, but you can play with that in the test drive.
And can you change the memo in batch for multiple transactions? So let's say you've already got a bunch of transactions in there, and you needed to change the memo. I don't think you can.
You can do modify invoices only. I would try it. It's in the test drive, so give it a shot.
Good idea.
Never tried.
Good idea.
So
yeah, that's why I love the sample company, and I put the test drive link out there several times for people, so you can play with it and test those things out in there.
Okay, we need a deep dive. By the way, Intuit Accountants University, QBTrainingEvents.com does a deep dive of Advance every month. So look at QBTrainingEvents.com. Actually, the deep dive is an hour and a half. It's not just an hour webinar, so it gets into a little bit more.
Yeah, and that was the winner of the deeper dive contest. Yeah, the Fathom reporting, 50%. This was a multiple select, so you could choose more than one answer, but combined, 50% people really would like that, and I would too. I mean, this is definitely how you can, build that advisory type of service into your clients. Into your clients' engagements.
All right. So I guess we can move on. Did we stop? We stopped that, right? Okay. Okay. So really quick.
Yeah. So when you reach a limitation of what it can do, even though it does do a lot of things, then that opens up the next option.
Fathom had a cash flow analysis of existing, but this is not a projection. So there's lots of apps on apps.com that can build in that you can get more features out of. So a lot of people need forecasting right now. These are relatively inexpensive apps. It'll pull it over and you're instantly doing a cash flow forecast with different scenarios. So look at apps.com, and I'm just going to click through these. These are in your handout. If you have a client who's in the field service industry, there's an app out there that'll do dispatching, tracking their trucks. They can collect payments out on the road. Really great stuff on apps.com for that, and manufacturing. QBO doesn't have inventory assemblies, so maybe there's an app. If they do want to go cloud and not be an enterprise anymore, there might be an app for that. Sales, so this is CRMs and ways of tracking projects and contacts. So I just threw these in the handout for you, so you have it. Time cards and scheduling for employees. Consultants, and we all do this one, guys, right? We have a scheduler that automatically will create a Zoom meeting. And so our clients can log in and make an appointment with us, and the Zoom meeting is created. So there's ways to get that done as well. And you can even have the scheduler collect money prior to making the meeting. So, and this would help with personal trainers, coaches. My client who's a psychologist who's going to work remote now. So I guess the point is the globe is working in the cloud. We need to be ready for that. And we all just went global. We're not local anymore. We could be helping people nationwide and actually worldwide if we chose to. So that's my little speech about that, and some resources here for you. And do you want to take over now, Dan?
Well, I mean, there's only a few more slides left, so you can guide us in for the landing.
Okay. Some more resources, stuff about Fathom. Fathom has a lot of free training, so go check that out. These are all clickable. So thank you all very much for listening to me for a while.
Well, Erin,
Erin,
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Erin, for being here today. A lot of great information, a great introduction to some of the capabilities that QBO Advanced does. But like you mentioned, and I've been putting the link out there, go play around in that sample company and test it out. And there's great resources. And then Dan, we've got the panel discussion next month. We're going to be talking about legal. What are the other industries? Because I can't remember.
Nonprofit. Nonprofit and e-commerce. So how Advanced has really helped them with their clients in those types of industries. So it's going to be a great roundtable discussion, very free for all. So who knows what'll happen?
Yes.
I can't wait. I'll see you guys there. I'm going to attend.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been great having you all here. We can continue the discussion in the Facebook group. And don't forget to join us for the next QB Power Hour, where we will be having Webgility, and they'll be joining us. So we'd love to have you for that as well. Dan, anything else?
Yeah, that will be a great segue into the panel discussion that we'll have the following one after that. So if you have some clients in that niche, or that's something that you're thinking of getting into, that's a great way to segue right into that panel discussion. So boom, boom.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Erin.
Thanks, Erin. It's great to see you.
Mindy and Shannon, too.
Yeah.
And thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the QB Power Hour podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in our Facebook group. You can find those resources and much more at qbpowerhour.com.